I met Sabrina on a rooftop in downtown Seattle at one of those parties where everyone speaks fluent resume. She was holding a room in the palm of her hand. Sharp eyes, a faster smile, the kind of confidence that doesn't need to raise its voice. I was a software engineer who believed good tools make life better. She was a junior associate already talking like a partner. We talked until the city lights turned to mist. She listened when most people glazed over at algorithm, asked real questions, made me feel like what I did mattered. 6 months later, I proposed. Same rooftop, fairy lights, champagne, and she laughed in delight before saying yes. I thought we'd cracked the code. Year 1 looked like a brochure. Dual incomes, a tidy townhouse in Queen Anne with granite everyone pretended to care about. A second-hand SUV because image is a strategy. Her parents started calling me son. We did restaurants that whispered wealth and trips you have to pronounce carefully. My best friend Tar said I was looking at her like a drowning man looks at land. Aunt Ngozi, my aunt who raised me, blessed the food and warned us not to worship money. I heard her. I didn't listen. Work was good. My team at Vectorum Systems shipped things that mattered. In a desk drawer, I kept copies of a patent I'd filed on my own time, an elegant way to make big systems think smarter. Mine. Filed in my name, paid from my pocket. I mentioned it to almost no one except my mentor, Marta Shawn, a veteran who'd survived 3 tech winters with her soul intact. Then came the bonus freeze. Then the meetings about operational efficiency. Then our CEO slipped one line into a town hall that changed my life. If the company were acquired, any personally filed patents could be sold by the engineer. They weren't corporate IP. Lightning struck the same drawer where my patent slept. At home, Sabrina was changing too. Promotion to mid-level associate, new posture, new voice. The lawyer voice. Calm, precise, faintly condescending. "We can't live like this," she'd say if I suggested takeout. This meant not upgrading as fast as her friends. This meant fewer photos for Monica's Instagram. Late nights were client dinners returned with a trace of cologne that wasn't mine. Every time I asked, I got the lawyer voice. That's how business works. I tried, cooked complicated meals, listened more, held my temper. The silence between us grew like mold. The acquisition hit on a Tuesday. HR, a neutral room, and a generous severance that felt like a pat on the head. I carried my box home and set it on the counter beside the fruit bowl no one touched. "They let you go," Sabrina said, and when I nodded, she laughed. Not kindness, not surprise, relief. "I always knew you'd fail," she said, as if stating the weather. "You're not built for the rooms I walk into." Something in me went very still. 2 days later, a courier brought papers. "We've grown apart. I need an upgrade." That line will live forever in my private museum of sentences. She wanted the house, the SUV, the furniture, alimony to maintain her standard. I didn't argue. I called the only lawyer I trust, Ioma Duru, who has a gift for saying difficult truths plainly. "They think you're desperate," she said. "We'll give them speed and certainty they can't resist, but on our terms." Our terms were simple. I'd pay a lump sum up front, clean, final, and we'd add a mutual no future claims clause, ironclad. No matter what happened later, lotteries, inheritances, success, neither of us could ever come back for more. Opposing counsel warned Sabrina it was overprotective. Sabrina signed anyway. She wanted out fast. I did too. I moved to a small apartment above a bakery in Fremont that wakes up smelling like fresh bread. I put 2 suitcases in a closet and my pride back in my chest. Then I called a tax strategist named Luis Romero, the kind of person who builds guardrails before anyone can jump the fence. "We don't put this money anywhere near your personal name," he said. We created Northbridge Analytics LLC to hold and sell the patent, owned by the Onyx Trust, which listed me as beneficiary, not owner. Paperwork like a fortress. The negotiations took 6 weeks. My little algorithm wasn't just useful. It was a revenue fountain. The same conglomerate that had bought my old company wanted exclusive rights badly enough to pay what Luis called forget-you money. The final number at the bottom of the contract, $167 million. I walked to the pier and stood in the wind until the water blurred. I didn't buy a car. I didn't buy a house. I bought time. I hired Marta as an advisor, convinced my friend Victor to build with me, and brought on Kesha Williams to keep us honest and on schedule. We paid ourselves modestly and shipped things we were proud of. Nights, I slept. Deeply. Secrets in the digital age have a half-life measured in Instagram stories. Monica, the friend who lived for girls' night slideshows, noticed I wasn't hunting jobs or hustling on LinkedIn. Victor posted a team photo. Rumors brewed. Then a courier came again. Heavier envelope, pricier letterhead. Sabrina had hired a new shark and filed a motion to reopen financials, alleged hidden assets, concealed negotiations, fraud on the marital estate. It read well. If you ignored dates, I called Ioma. She laughed for the first time in all this. They're arguing you should have predicted the future for them, she said. We'll see them in court. King County Superior Court. Judge Marissa Morales, sharp, restrained, allergic to theatrics. Sabrina looked like a corporate headshot. Perfect suit, perfect hair, hurt arranged neatly on her face. Her lawyer, Chun, spoke in marble, deception, concealment, equity. Then it was our turn. Ioma didn't raise her voice. She stacked facts. The sale closed 3 months after the divorce decree. The patent was mine, filed years before our marriage crumbled, paid from my pocket, developed on my time. Proceeds went to Northbridge, owned by the Onyx Trust. I had never personally received $1. And then she read the sentence Sabrina had raced past when she signed. Both parties agree this settlement is full and final. Neither party may seek modification or additional support for any reason, including increased income, inheritance, lottery winnings, business success, or any other improvement. The judge asked 3 questions, surgical exact, and didn't recess. Motion denied, she said. Dismissed with prejudice. Then she granted our counterclaim for fees and for weaponizing the court over buyer's remorse. A door closed. The storm finally moved on. I wrote 1 letter, paper, ink, stamp. Dear Sabrina, thank you for leaving quickly. I could not have built this with you beside me. The peace I have is worth more than the money. I mailed it and went for coffee. She called 3 times. On the 4th, I answered. I didn't know, she said. I was angry. I thought you hid it. Her voice was smaller. She asked to meet. I wished her well and hung up. Some bridges burn clean for a reason. Life above the bakery is quiet in all the right ways. Morning smells like crust and butter. The ship canal glints. My team makes unglamorous, beautiful things that save customers time and money. We grow at a pace we can defend with sleep. Marta texts me when I'm being sentimental. Tar talks trash and takes my money at golf. Aunt Ngozi still brings pepper soup on Sundays and still tells me not to worship money. I listen now. People ask if I felt revenge when the judge ruled. I didn't. Revenge needs you to care about their pain. What I felt was relief. Pure, clean relief that I bought my freedom with the last thing I owed her and signed a clause that protected us both from our worst instincts. If there's a moral, it's simple. Build in private. Sign in ink. Put guardrails around the future before you need them. Love with care, and if someone laughs at your failure, don't argue. Step back, become very quiet, and do the work the future version of you will thank you for. I wasn't built for the rooms she wanted. I was built for this. A window over a street that smells like bread, a small team solving hard problems, a ledger that balances, a life that fits in my hands. The money matters less than the quiet. The clause matters most because it ended a chapter cleanly and made room for a better one. I used to think fairy tales were the lie. Turns out the lie was thinking someone else's map would get me home.